Welcome to this video tutorial where we will solder together a base for your 3D printed hero statue. As you can see here, it is a round base with pretty sparkling lights. Step 1. Get all your parts together and organize them in front of you. This is what the baseboard looks like. It has two sides. The side that you want to face up in the first instance is the side with the drawings of the components on them. Now clamp the baseboard into the helping hand clamp. We are going to solder in the resistors first. Caution! Beware that on the board there are two kinds of resistors that look the same. They are labeled with the number and letter combinations 10K and 330. The resistors themselves look the same, but with slightly different bands. To find out which is which, we're going to use a multimeter. Grab the multimeter and set it to the 20 kilo-ohm setting for measuring resistance. Resistance is futile. Then grab the red and black probes and touch them onto the opposite metallic ends of the resistor. If the reading on the screen is close to 10, this means that the resistor is the 10 kilo-ohm resistor. If the reading is close to 0.3, then this means this is the 330 ohm resistor. Make sure you keep track of which one is which going forward. Remove the paper sticker on the end of your resistor. Then bend them to be able to fit the legs into the holes in the baseboard. On the other side of the board, bend the legs outwards to make sure they don't fall out when you turn the board over. Do this with all resistors. Make sure they are in the right position.
1 hour later.
Once you have done that, it should look like this. The legs should be flat against the board so you can solder easily. Clamp the board back into the helping hand. Solder the legs of each of the resistors into place by heating them up slightly and adding solder so that it flows and fills the hole. Don't add too much, but also make sure that the hole is completely filled. Once you have finished soldering, make sure you inspect your work. Grab a pair of side cutters. They are the tool with the yellow handles like this one. Then, cut off the legs as close to the solder as possible. The video shows cutting with the hollow side of the tool to the solder. You should really turn your side cutters around and cut with the flat side to the solder so you can cut closer to the solder easier. Do as I say, not as I do. Ha 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 ha! Let's install the capacitors now, shall we? They are the cylindrical components with two wires. You will notice that they have a white stripe on them with a minus symbol. The leg on this side of the component with go into the hole of the white coloured area on the board. The other hole on the board actually has a plus symbol next to it. Then push over the capacitors over onto the board so they lay flat onto the resistors. We do this because the capacitors are too big to fit in our base otherwise. Bend the legs on the other side, like you did with the resistors. Now let's move on to the transistors. They are the black parts with the 3 legs. If you look on the board, you can see the 3 positions where they should go. The transistors have a flat side and a rounded side. The rounded side should face away from the components already on the board. Please be aware that the capacitors are shown here to be upright. Yours should really be laying flat against the resistors. If the legs don't quite go into the board easily, try bending the legs outwards a little. And push the transistor down to the board. Do this with all 3 transistors. The legs of the transistors poke out straight on the back of the board. You can bend these a little or leave them as they are. Solder all in place similar to the other components. If you apply too much heat, the board might go cloudy like this. Most of the time, this rubs off. Don't worry too much about this, but make sure you don't heat up the components or the board too much. Now clip the legs, as per usual, with the side cutters. See now, I am clipping with the flat side of the cutters, which allows me to get in closer. A bit of cloudiness here, as you can see, but nothing burnt. Almost there! You are doing amazing! We will be adding the LED lights now. These are green ones. Your ones might be a different color. They go all around the edge of the board. The LED lights have 2 legs. You'll notice that the legs are not equal in length. This is very important. The long leg is the positive side. The short one is the negative one. If you look at the board, the symbols for the lights have a little plus symbol on them. This is where the long leg goes. The short leg goes into the other hole. Push the light all the way down. Bend the legs of the light out to make soldering easier, but also to make sure the lights do not fall out. Solder the light onto the board the same way as the other components. Cut the legs off. And do this with the rest of the lights all around the perimeter of the board. Once done, it should look like this. Make sure the lights are nice and tidy and sitting close to the board. The battery pack is the last component to get soldered onto the board. The pack comes with 2 wires attached. These need to be stripped first so we can solder them properly. Use the wire stripper to do this. Align the end of the right to the red stopper and push the handles together. This should strip the insulation off the end of the wire, and you should end up with about 10 millimeters of exposed wire. If the tool doesn't do this properly, ask your teacher for help. Please, teacher, help me. Once the ends are stripped, stick the red wire on the component side of the board into the square pad with the plus symbol next to it. Bend the end of the wire on the other side and solder. Then stick the end of the black wire in the round tab with the minus symbol. And like the red wire, solder the end onto the back of the board. Make sure that the solder between the battery wires and the resistors are not touching. Trim any wire with the side cutters. You can now add in the batteries. To open the battery pack, pull on the lid to bend it open, and it should lift open. When you look on the inside of the battery pack, you will see a plus and a minus symbol. These will line up with the batteries. You will see that on the batteries, there is also a plus sign. There is no minus sign, but this means that the flip side of the battery is the minus side. Put the batteries into the pack such that the symbols are lining up to other. And minus for the pack should touch the flip side of the battery. Plus for the pack should touch plus of the battery. This means that the batteries will sit alternated in the pack. Push the lid shut of the pack. Now you should be able to flip the switch of the pack to on, and the lights should now be running in order. If not, ask your teacher for help, only after checking if your soldering is done correctly and all components are in the right place and in the correct orientation. Alrighty, we are on to the last stage where we are going to fit the electronics into the base. Feed the board from the back onto the ridge on the inside of the base. The wires need to be coming out on the opposite end of the Digitech logo. Turn over the assembly and make sure you hold the board down. Then apply hot glue onto the inside edge where the board meets the base to glue it stuck. Let it cool for a bit, and then let go. Loop the wires around like this, and test, fit the battery pack, where you align the on-off switch with the side of the base. Make sure you leave some space between the back for the battery pack and the base, so you can still open the pack if you need to. Or once you are happy with the position, apply a bit of hot glue to the back of the pack. Press it down into position and wait for it to dry. Make sure that you can still get your fingernail or flat screwdriver into the space to open the battery pack. And that the on-off switch is easily reachable. Pop in your lid. It should remain clear from the components underneath. Pop on your hero statue. And turn on your lights. Success!